NTA International News.
Operation Lafia Dole intensifies efforts in tackling insurgency as security personnel killed 2 female bombers in Maiduguri. Federal government restates commitment in providing affordable homes to Nigerians. Plus, landslide wreak havoc in Ethiopia, kills more than 20 people. Thanks for joining us on the news on NTA International, reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. My name is Omini Odan. The military in recent times stepped up its campaign against the Boko Haram terrorists in the northeast. The range of operations are aimed at routing the remnants of Boko Haram terrorists who are seeking refuge in some remote locations in the forests. One of these operations, carried out by troops of Operation Lafia Dole on Saturday, involved troops of 159 Battalion, 27 Task Force Brigades. Troops of the unit acting on a piece of intelligence successfully executed a swift operation against suspected Boko Haram terrorist location in about 7 villages in Maiduguri. The unit for the artillery bombardment operations west of Subdu village neutralized the concentration of the Boko Haram terrorists at Bulabulin and Alagono forests. A statement signed by the Director of Army Public Relations, Brigadier General Sani Kukasheka Usman, says the offensive operations later dovetailed into cordon and search operation in 4 villages. 2 female bombers have been shot dead by security personnel near Maiduguri, Borno State. The bombers, who are about 18 years of age, attempted to enter Maiduguri through Umaria in Mulai general area, about 9 kilometers to Maiduguri township. They were sighted by the civilian JTF and consequently shot dead by security personnel on duty at the area. No loss of life or injury was recorded. The police EOD team was mobilized to the scene to render the unexploded IED safety, while normalcy has been restored in the area. The Minister of State for Power, Works and Housing, Mustafa Baba Shehuri, has reaffirmed government's commitment in bridging the gap of housing deficit in Nigeria by making homes more available and affordable. This was during the inauguration of a housing estate in Karu, Nasarawa State. Suleiman Musa reports.
Minister of State for Power, Works and Housing Mustafa Baba Shehuri gave assurance that the ministry will continue to strive to ensure that the challenge of housing deficit in Nigeria, which has been put at 16 to 17 million units, is surmounted.
The completion of this estate and its peers across the country is a demonstration of the tangible achievement of this administration in the area of provision of affordable housing for Nigerians.
Nasarawa State Governor, represented by his deputy Salas Agara, says the state will continue to provide land and necessary logistics in supporting the federal government's mass housing scheme.
This is a pace-setter project, worth commending, worth emulating, and we're on the same page with them.
This is the 9th of series of mass housing across the country. From Karu, Suleiman Musa, NTA News.
Kebbi State may further raise its profile in rice and other crops production as it strengthens partnership with the federal government to boost all year-round farming in the state. Minister of Water Resources Suleiman Adamu visited Zeuru Polder Project, one of the platforms for dry season farming in the state. Musma Dan Wahab reports.
In Nigeria, lick rice is fast gaining grounds as a competitive alternative to imported rice. It is the end result of a partnership between 2 states, Kebbi and Lagos. The initiative is described as unprecedented and a testimony of the success of federal government's Anchor Borrowers program designed to aid farmers and improve food production.
From the mistakes we have learned through the last dry season farming, the next one is certainly going to be a better yield.
In yet another step forward in boosting all year-round farming, the federal government, in partnership with the state, is invigorating the Zoro Powder project. It is believed that the project will enable the state to maximize the opportunity of its vast and fertile land on the Rimmel River floodplain and double its yields through all year-round farming. Though hundreds of rice, wheat and other crops farmers are already benefiting from the powder project, the project still has the potential of about 10,000 hectares of irrigable land as against barely over 100 hectares of land currently being cultivated.
We produce about 200,000 metric tons of rice, but you see, including the catchment areas.
Though funding the project has been a challenge since inception in 1982, the federal government is, however, considering completing it.
They're also looking at another area, not exactly there, but still within the scheme, to develop another 250 hectares very soon. The plan is already there.
The traditional rulers of Gwandu and Argungu, Mohammed Ilyasu Bashar and Samala Mohammed Meira, welcomed the project. From Bruni Kebe, Musbal and Wahab, NTA News.
With the relocation of airline operations from Abuja to Kaduna International Airport, the Nigerian Air Force is assuring the public of safety as they travel along the Abuja-Kaduna route. Chief of Training and Operations, Air Vice Marshal Ahmed Iya, gave the assurance during an operational tour to Kaduna. Defense correspondent Isaac Nkuma tells us more. That report will be ready in the course of the bulletin. The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has deployed a rescue helicopter, 3 mobile intensive care unit ambulances, and 3 rapid intervention vehicles to Kaduna State to join other stakeholders in providing support for emergency operations in the state. The helicopter is to be used for medical patrol, while the 3 ambulances with the rapid intervention vehicles are stationed along Jere and Katari towns, Kaduna Abuja Road and Kaduna International Airport. The ambulances are used to administer first aid treatment and stabilization for trauma victims on their way to the hospital, as it serves as a mobile hospital with the capacity to carry 1 critical and 1 less critical victim. The Federal Road Maintenance Agency, FEMA, is being lauded for steps taken in repair works on federal roads in the northeast region of the country. House of Representatives Committee on FEMA says despite operational challenges, FEMA should brace up to cover more roads. Ladi Bala reports.
The House Committee Chairman Adamu Kamale, who noted with concern the deplorable nature of most roads, particularly in the northeast, which has suffered infrastructural setbacks due to activities of insurgents, said the current administration is determined to give Nigerians a better deal. The oversight visit centered on monitoring of direct labor work by FEMA on patching of potholes and overlaying of asphalt on certain portions of the roads in all the 3 states visited. Road construction awarded to some firm currently ongoing were also inspected by the committee. While briefing the members, FEMA Zonal Coordinator Northeast and all the contractors on sites identified inconsistency in release of funds and lack of availability of materials such as bitumen as major challenge hampering quick execution of projects. The committee members, who were thorough during the inspection, applauded FEMA for doing good job on the roads and called on the private sector to take advantage of ongoing road construction and establish functional quarry to boost economic development.
The issue of change will not accept it, whether materials are available or not. This oversight is to ensure Nigerians that the National Assembly will leave no stone unturned to make sure that Nigerian roads are in a better shape.
In Yola, Ladibala, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has joined the literary world in congratulating renowned academic, poet, columnist and dramatist Professor Niyi Oshundare as he turns 70. In a statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, President Buhari felicitates with all the friends, colleagues, and family members of the literary icon who, through courage and the power of the pen, has contributed immensely to the political history of Nigeria. The president believes that the septuagenarian sacrifices over the years can only be rewarded with strong democratic institutions that guarantee free and fair elections and an effective governance that provides security, good health facilities, and sound education to its citizenry. The statement also commends the disciplined, forthright, and diligent spirit of the erudite scholar, whose written works already span the globe, attracting numerous awards, and whose voice of wisdom will continue to resonate through generations. The president prays that the Almighty God will grant Professor Oshundare long life, good health, and more wisdom to serve humanity. You're watching the news on NTA International, reaching you from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. Stay on for more report when we return after the break. Back to the news. Windstorm has destroyed property worth millions of naira at the University of Uyo Teaching Hospital in Akwa Ibom State. The Chief Medical Director, Professor Etete Peters, says the destruction has paralyzed the hospital medical activities and appealed to the Federal Minister of Health for urgent intervention. Elizabeth Udoka completes the story.
Briefing journalist, the Chief Medical Director, University of Uyo Teaching Hospital, Dr. Etete Peters, says the terrible incident occurred during the heavy rains accompanied by storm. Dr. Peters, who regretted the magnitude of damage the natural disaster has caused, even when they were planning to source for funds to complete the ongoing projects in the hospital, called on state, federal governments, other intervention agencies, as well as the public to come to their aid.
The magnitude of damage is beyond the scope of the hospital itself. And that is why we are using this opportunity to call on the federal government, the state government, the state management, emergency management authority, the NEMA, and other interventionist agencies to come to our aid. What is the paramount problem of the hospital now is to restore normal services. As you can see, there is a total disruption of electricity supply to the institution because most of the poles are all falling off, locked down. Then it's been the damage to the generator house, damage to central buildings, and other parts of the compound that you usually see.
The Chief Medical Director and other management staff of the University of Uyo Teaching Hospital led journalists to the affected areas, including mortuary block, central building, pediatric departments, hospital chapel, 3-story radiology block, Faculty of Technical Sciences lecture hall, perimeter fence, among other units. Dr. Etete Peters explained further on the extent of damage in Uyo. Elizabeth Udoka, NTA News.
Similarly, with barely few months to intense rain in parts of the country, residents of gully erosion-affected areas in Calabar across River State are having their hearts in the mouth. This is the case with residents of Ikot and Kebre layout, as the devastating gully erosion, which claimed 3 lives, continues to wreak havoc without attention. Justina Etam reports.
The magnitude of devastation the Ikot Kebre ravine has inflicted on residents and landlords in the area. This gully erosion, which started years back, has sacked many residing in the area, with about 35 houses caved in so far. Residents said their hope was renewed when agents of the World Bank visited the area last year with assurance that remediation work in the ravine will soon commence. They said months after then, the ravine has continued to deteriorate due to the state government's inability to release counterpart funding for the project.
President Newman actually did what we call a bid publication in the paper to ask for tenders by companies to do this. And we are all overjoyed that this was going to happen. But 3 months after, we've not heard anything.
I want to appeal that government should come immediately, because the devastating effect that the erosion has caused, destroying the houses, properties, even 2 persons were lost.
If you look at what is happening here, I mean, that gutter is the cause of that ravine.
Contrary to these allegations, the project coordinator, Cross River State Nigeria Erosion and Watershed Management Project, Dr. Fidelis Anokwa, said the state government has released about 250 million naira as part of its counterpart funding to spearhead the project.
His Excellency the state governor has a passion for Newmark, and accordingly had paid up to date the state's counterpart contribution component of the project. Just last year, he released 250 million naira in this period of recession for that work. So counterpart issue has not been
of kidnapping, and we've been able to substantially reduce that, including even the cattle rustling and so on that are happening along Kaduna, Abuja, and Kaduna Birningwari roads. We've been able to substantially reduce this with the coordination with the Army land operations. So it's going to continue.
Vice Marshal Iya inspected some facilities and security arrangements.
Moon Jae-in has promised justice and common sense as Eastern leader Park prepare to leave the presidential Blue House and face possible prosecution on corruption. The Constitution Court ruled on Friday to uphold a parliamentary vote to impeach Park